Okay. So,
What's up?
good day, everyone. My name is Akinlele Kondale, popularly addressed as Global Pythagoras. So, this is the third episode for Global Maths Blueprints broadcast. So, with my brother here, so we want to hear from me how from 192 in JAM to 4.72 first class in mathematics. So, you are welcome, sir.
Yeah, good evening. Thank you, Mr. Akinleye Daniel. I appreciate this time uh, to amplify my story and to also motivate people outside there. It is my joy and it is a good opportunity. I really appreciate that. I don't know what's up here.
All right. Can you please introduce yourself to our audience, sir?
Yeah, good evening once again. My name is Moses Odewule Udan, so you can call me Moses. I graduated from the Department of Mathematical Science from the Federal University of Technology, Akure, last year, and by God's grace, I finished with first class. It's a CGPA of 4.72. Not bad.
Yeah. We're happy to hear that. So we
Yeah,
have
thank you.
10 questions here. So the first
Okay.
question we have here, can you tell us about your journey from 192 in JAM to first class in industrial mathematics?
Oh, thank you. That was so sweet to tell because it was already an achievement, though. My journey is a proof that your starting point does not determine your destination. When I scored 192 in JAM, many people would have predicted that I would graduate with a first class in industrial mathematics. However, I understood early that success in academic is not determined by where you begin, but how consistently you improve. Once I entered the university, I made a commitment to become the best version of myself academically. I approached every semester with as an opportunity to improve, learn and grow. Through discipline, persistence, and a deep love for mathematics, I gradually transformed my performance until I graduated with a CGPA of 4.72. So,
Wow.
summary. Yeah, thank you.
So I'm really excited. Like I want to be like you. So the next question we
Oh,
have
don't
here.
worry.
So what motivates you to keep going despite the earlier challenge?
Oh, thank you for that question, Mr. Lekon. There was a lot of challenges, especially when you're entering into a school with that kind of jump score. However, for my first day as an undergraduate, the first day I entered into the university, I had a clear goal, and my clear goal was to become a professional mathematician capable of solving problems with precision and contributing meaningful solutions to society. That vision became my driving force. Whenever I encountered difficult courses, disappointing results, or moments of fatigue, I reminded myself why I started. I was not studying simply to pass examinations. That was not my target. I was preparing myself for a lifetime of solving complex problems. Having that long-term vision made temporary challenges, because I don't think there is anything as permanent challenge.
Yes.
So, with that mindset, temporary challenges were easier to overcome. So because I knew in the end I wanted to become a professional mathematician and capable of solving every problem with high precision. So that was what keeps me motivated.
Wow, that's amazing. So what you are telling us now is that we should consistent on what we are doing or what we love to do.
Yeah. And
Thank you
also
for that.
you must have a target, and your target must be achievable. So having a target, having an achievable target is enough driving force to keep you going even when you feel tired. Yeah.
That thing happened last semester when I did one exam like that. But I feel like I'm tired, but I I couldn't do the work again. So the next
Yeah.
question we have here is, how did mathematical thinking help you improve academically?
Oh, that I think that would have been my best question. I mean, the best question I've had today. So, mathematics, mathematics taught me that small improvements accumulate into extraordinary outcomes. Okay, take for instance, if I have 1 raised to power 365, that is, I keep on doing the same thing every day. 1 raised to power 365 will be equal to 1. That is, there is no any accumulation, there's no any increments. But then if I leap a little bit, if I put in a little effort, more effort than the one I am used to, so let's say I have 1.01. So if you calculate 1.01 raised to power 365, you would end up with 37.78. If I'm correct, you would end up with 37.78. Can you see the leap from 1 to 300 to 37.78 is a massive. So that
Yes.
equation alone was enough for me to realize that small improvement over times can result into an extraordinary outcomes. So mathematically, as I've said, that is the mathematical thinking behind my driving force to consistently go every day. Like, I need to be putting more effort, because I know that at the end of the day, I'm going to come out with an extraordinary effort. So
Wow, that's really amazing. I really like that. Need to try that too. So the next
yeah,
question
sure.
we have, to not waste our time. What habits or strategy were the key to your success?
Habits and strategies. Okay, I would say there are 2 key values to my life, and those 2 values are discipline and consistency. Okay, when you're disciplined, you're consistent. So that is the key habits to my success. Now, I developed a habit of studying regularly, reviewing lecture notes immediately after classes. I'm not the lazy type, the one that chase after after events on campuses. I'm not that kind of. I was not that kind of person. So immediately after class, I review my notes. Then I solve problems independently. I don't really believe in group reading or group study. I prefer reading in my own private sector. Then I would now mingle with friends to solve problems. That is after I've gotten the whole concept of what I'm studying. So I study independently and I maintain a structured academic routine. So I do that almost every day. I also embrace continuous improvements. Like, I must do better than I was yesterday. I always believe that my today knowledge must be greater than yesterday knowledge. Again, that can be related back to the equation that I started the other time, 1.01 raised to power 365. Today one must be a little bit better than yesterday one. So, and also, I always have one quote in my head then, and that was the Cristiano Ronaldo's quote, which said that in my mind, I'm always the best. So for me, that mindset was not about arrogance. It was about believing that excellence was achievable if I was willing to put in the work consistently. And so that's the key to my success, and that is the strategy that I applied back then. Constant reading, reviewing of notes.
You believe that you are the best. Wow.
Yes, absolutely. I believe that I'm the best, and I have all the abilities, everything to understand a course, to understand anything, to be successful at anything that I lay my hand upon. And whenever I'm inside the class, I always believe that I understand the course better than anyone else. So that alone keeps me going, that I am the one in the front, so I must not relent, so that people behind me will not catch up with me. So I keep on going.
That's really amazing. I will have my own personal take to this question. So the next question we have here is, how do you approach learning complex topics in industrial mathematics?
Yeah, I learned very early. That's my own key to learning mathematical courses. And I always say it, even before the mid-semester, I would have finished the whole syllabus of every courses. So I learned very early complex topics, and I realized that complex topics become manageable when broken down into complex components. So there are some courses that are very, very tedious, they're very, very cumbersome, and somewhat difficult too. Yeah. So in that kind of real analysis actually, pure maths. So that's a pure maths. So in that case, I break down the whole course, the whole concept. Like, I know that the knowledge of the previous module leads to the knowledge of the next module. So I don't take a module for granted. I break it down, like, okay, for instance, your real analysis, as I have mentioned the other time, if I want to learn continuity of real number, I must start from what are the sets inside the real number. I must start from the rational number. I must start with the rational number. I must cover natural numbers. Then from then, I have understood that, okay, on a real number, I have all these type of numbers inside the real number. So by the time I reach the continuity of the real number, I would have gotten that, okay, in a real number, there is no hole in the real number. So a hole can only be found inside the set of rational numbers. So by then I would have accumulated the knowledge, and then I would have transferred it again into the next module after the real number. So I break it down. Actually, I break them down earlier. And again, I started reading before even the semester began. So it was like I was 7 steps ahead my lecturer. So by the time I entered the class and they explained better, and then I grabbed more knowledge, and those things that I studied during my own study time, I didn't understand, I would ask them questions. Some of them would say I should come to see them in their office. Some of them would recommend some textbooks or some YouTube videos, like Dr. Kazuna. She would recommend some YouTube videos to me and say, go and watch this, you understand it better. So that's how. And again, I always believe that there's no any difficult course, even though they might be difficult, but I must still believe that it's not difficult. So that's the key.
Yeah, thank you for that. Really appreciate that. So the next question we have here, to make everything fast, do you face movements of doubt, and how do you overcome them?
Yeah, actually, a lot, bro. Absolutely, every high achieving student experience moments of doubt. So there were times when courses seemed overwhelming, when results came out, and you feel like, oh my god, this is not what I planned for. That reminds me of my 300 level. So that was my third year. So I was expecting A in a course, and at the end of the day, the lecturer ended giving me 68B. So 68B, bro. It was terrible for me. So my results dropped, my CGPA dropped by 0.01. My result has never dropped, so it's only keep rising. So because of that, because my result dropped by 0.01 value, oh my god, I felt like the world was crumbling before me. I was like, am I still going to make this my target? But then I realized that single mistake shouldn't hold me back. Like I could use that as a momentum to go furthermore. So the next semester, by God grace, I hit a 5 dots, and the 5 dots, like I covered it a lot. So yeah, a lot of times we encountered moments of doubting, but then we must remember when we started and what we want to achieve. And again, results should not define our worth. So it's just a measure of them say continuity, or them say continuous assessment. So that's how I always believe a result is. Sometimes a result may not define who truly you are or the amount of knowledge you have in that course. So we shouldn't allow that to pull us down. And if you are talking about maybe moments of maybe when we study and we don't understand, sometimes when I study and I feel like this thing's not through my head, or I don't feel like having a head go in that particular course, I would close my book and just go and sleep and forget about the whole course. So by the time I wake up, the Holy Spirit would have ministered it into my head. I would have gotten the whole thing. Yeah. So it happens.
Yeah, I remember that when I was in London level, first semester, there's a course like it's a stats. Everybody
Okay.
failed, but I had 5/30 in that test. I had that pain me
Oh.
like, oh, but I don't give up. I keep trying that. If I can get at least, I work hard. I did overnight. To the lecturer, yeah, this is what I read. They give me 50
Oh wow.
what happened that is the first person that scored overall in test, we had the same grade.
Wow.
The thing I was like, okay, that I'm thank God for this. So we move to the next topic. Next question. So how can students use persistence and discipline to excel in maths?
Consistency, persistency, and discipline, right?
Yes.
Okay, mathematics on its own rewards consistency more than talent. Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
I will go by the words of Richard Feynman, the English physicist. He said that people think he was a miraculous physicist, whereas he was just an ordinary student like everyone is. He was just curious, was just persistent, and then he was disciplined to constantly visit his notes and chase after knowledge. So again, mathematics reward consistency more than talent. It's not all about talent, but if you have talent, it's just like a bonus on your side. So everyone who is consistent and persistent, they have more rewards in mathematics than someone who doesn't even take any effort. So now many students believe they need to be naturally gifted to excel in mathematics, but in my experience, persistence and discipline are far more important. Okay, so mathematics is learned through repeated exposure. When you repeatedly practice and you reflect on what you study. It's not about just I've studied this once, let me just go and prepare, let me just go and rest for exam. It doesn't work like that. Okay, and the more you go over your book again, the more you gain more knowledge. If you notice that,
Yeah.
So you would have studied maybe one theorem or one lemma or one aspect, then when you go over it again, you get more overview of it and you be like, wow, I didn't get this in the first time. So it happens. So if students commit to studying regularly, solving problems daily, and remaining patient. Sometimes we need to be patient, okay? When concepts seem difficult, they will eventually see significant improvements. Progress in mathematics is often gradual, but it is always accumulative. Remember, 1.01 raised to power 365 give us 37.7, so it's always accumulative. That's a trick.
Wow, that's great. Let me have the idea. So, the next question we have here is, what role did problem solving and analytical thinking play in your journey?
Yeah, like I said, I always wanted to become a professional mathematician capable of solving every mathematical problem with high precision. So problem solving was at the center of my academic development. Mathematics taught me how to think logically, break down complex situations into manageable parts, identify patterns, and develop systematic solutions. These skills helped me not only in examination but also in research, my data analysis, my machine learning that I'm taking currently, mathematical modeling, and real-world decision making. So, and the ability to think analytically transformed the way I approach both academic and life challenges. So sometimes when life hits us, we have to sit down and think strategically. So it goes a long way actually.
Like, I used to tell my boss students that as a mathematician, we are also satisfied critical thinkers. Is that true?
So what?
So, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
So I said, I used to tell my classmates that we are also satisfied critical thinkers. And I asked that, is that true?
Yeah, of course, it's true. For you to become a good mathematician, you must be a critical thinker. It's not only about taking pen and solving and writing. No, you need to think. So you must understand the particular type of problem you're working with, then the structural method to solve it. So, and again, every mathematical problem has a reason, they have their own objective. You must understand why you are solving the problem, and then at the end of the day, you transfer your solution to the real world application. So, of course, you are a certified critical thinkers. You are right about that.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. So the next question, second to the last. How do you see industrial mathematics shaping real world solution?
Industrial mathematics is one of the most practical branches of mathematics because it connects theory with applications. Today, industrial mathematics contribute to fields such as artificial intelligence, machine learning, healthcare, finance, epidemiology, optimization, logistics, engineering, climate modeling, in fact, and business analytics too. So every day, organizations make critical decisions using mathematical models and data analytics and data-driven insights. So industrial mathematics provide the tools needed to understand complex systems, predict outcomes, optimize resources, and solve real-world problems efficiently. Okay, because all these real-world problems, we convert them back to mathematical models. Then we use mathematical techniques or mathematical tools to solve them. Then we convert them back again to the real-world problems. Then it aids or it makes the work of decision takers easier. And that's the role that mathematics plays. So,
yeah, thank you so much for that. So, the last question we have here is, what advice will you give students who feel that academic start is low?
But jokingly, I would say they should follow my footstep. So let them follow my footstep. So
Wow,
I mean, that's a joke. But
that's
my
that's
advice
like,
would be, yeah, because I made it worldwide. But however, my advice would be never allow your current performance to define your future potential. Like I said, your score, your grade now doesn't define who truly you are. Okay, a low beginning does not mean a low ending. My own story demonstrates that what matters most is your willingness to learn, to improve, and remain consistent. So that's what matters a lot. Focus on progress rather than comparison. Don't ever compare yourself with anyone. Like I said, in my mind, I always think I'm the best. I don't compare myself with anyone. Okay? And develop strong study habits. Seek help where necessary. No one is an island of knowledge. So once you feel like you don't understand a particular concept, make sure you seek help. God has blessed us with different type of people with different kind of knowledge, with different thinking faculty, with different IQ. So we should seek, we should make use of them, we should leverage on them. So also we should stay we should be willing to trust the process. It's not only about doing that alone, you must trust the process. So success is really the result of one extraordinary effort. It's not one. You have to keep on doing it, okay? So then your starting point is just a number. So your persistence is what ultimately writes your story. So once you are persistent, trust me, you yourself are scribing your story on a marble, not even on a piece of paper, on a marble. So precious.
yeah, thank you so much, sir. So, may I have one question? What
Okay.
advice will you give those that they combine academic with some other activities, other curriculum, like maybe they join politics, they are doing something that making them for money and some other things. What advice will you give that kind of students?
First of all, my advice would be everything is not about academics. Again, everything is not about academics. You have to prioritize what matters most to you. So for those people, for instance, those people going into politics, I don't have anything against them. But then your first goal, your first job here on campus is to come and study the course that you apply for. However, I have seen cases whereby people just use the courses they apply for as a platform to get on campus to come and do politics. I have seen that kind of scenario before. So your main goal, your main job should be your priority. If you are here to study, then that should.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you, sir. All right, bye bye, sir. Yes, sir. Thanks. Amen. Thank you so much, sir. All right, bye.